In this module, we're going to load and place some doors into our building model. So let's zoom in so we can see our floor plan, and we have a few doors here to place. We have a sliding door here to place between the kitchen and the bathroom. We've got some doors here to place in the bedrooms, and also a door down here at the front, which is an entry door through the curtain wall, which will be a little bit trickier, but we'll get there. So first things first, let's zoom in here, and we need to see through our walls to see the underlying CAD file. So let's come down here and select wireframe from our graphic display options. Now that we've selected wireframe, we can see through our walls here to the underlying CAD file, which shows our door frame. So what we can do is, let's come up to our architecture tab and select the door tool. Now, if we look at our type selector, we can see we only have this single sliding cavity door loaded. So what we need to do is we need to come across and load family. So once we want to load our family, we need to navigate to where we saved our exercise files and into section 4, developing the building shell. And here is our door single swing solid family. So let's go ahead and select that and click open, and that will load the door family into our project here. So now what we want to do is we want to hover over our wall here, and this is where we're going to place our door. So it depends on where your mouse is. So as soon as I hover over to the top side of my wall here, it's going to place the door opening into that wall. However, if I move my mouse slightly down, it will place the door, if I zoom out a little bit, opening out from the room. Now the good thing is you can change this after you place it, so don't worry too much if you get it wrong. Let's go ahead and place this roughly there. And there we go, there's our first door. So it does stay in our door tool once we've placed a door, so we can go ahead and continue placing more doors. So again, I might sort of hover over, and let's place this one just slightly out of place so we can show you how to move it. So I'll place it there. Let's hit escape twice on the keyboard. Let's grab this door and simply select the move command up here on our toolbar, and let's grab our door frame and move that to align with the wall face. And there we have it, there is our door. So that's a good way to start placing our doors. Let's move up and look at this sliding door here between the kitchen and the bathroom. So again, let's go to our architecture tab, and on our build panel we'll select the door tool, or DR on your keyboard. From our type selector, we can see that our single swing door is still selected, which we no longer want. So let's click down and let's grab this 2040 high, 850 clear opening, single sliding cavity solid door. And let's hover over this wall here and let's place this somewhere. Let's zoom in a little bit. Again, you're never going to place a door accurately the first time, so it's okay. I'm going to place my door maybe roughly, maybe there. Okay, I'm going to hit escape twice, and let's grab this door, and I want to align the frame here with the front of my kitchen joinery. So let's select the door, and using the move command, let's grab this frame here and align it to that CAD line. So there we can see a nice clear line from the front of our joinery, which we'll model soon, to our drawing, or to our door here, which is great. We can see the arrow here to denote the sliding is on the other side. That's not a big deal. It probably tells us that the door orientation is incorrect. So when we select the door here, we can grab these flip arrows to flip the instance. So if we select that, not much has changed, but it just shows us that this arrow here is on the correct side. Where that becomes a bit more apparent is if we zoom back over to our doors, to our swing doors, if we were to flip this instance facing, it's going to flip out the other way. Likewise, if I hit this horizontal flip instance, it's going to change the swing and the way it's working. So get to grips and understand how these tools work, because they are helpful when you're placing a lot of doors very quickly around your model, just to quickly flip them and flip them again to align with your CAD file, which is great. Now, coming down to the curtain wall, this is a bit trickier. Curtain walls do allow you to place doors in there. However, we need some grid lines in our curtain walls, or we actually need to clarify some curtain grid lines, not building grids like these ones here. So if we zoom in, let's come up to our architecture tab, and on our build panel, we need a curtain grid. So what we're going to do, and we will place this very roughly, because again, we can change this afterwards. Let's place one in the center of that mullion there. It's about there. And another one over here. Great. So now we've split this curtain wall, even though it's one object, we've now split it into 3 panels. And if we use the tab key, we can tab select that panel right there between the 2 mullions. So now, if we were to unpin this curtain panel, we can now get to our type selector and we can change this from a simple glazed panel. If we scroll up, we could make it a empty panel, so it's just a hole in the wall. And if we keep scrolling up, we can also see that we can change it to different wall types as well if we so wanted to, or we can change it to this curtain panel door single swing. Now we can have a manifestation or without a manifestation. I like to have a manifestation because that sort of shows you as an architect or a designer that there's a nice film across the door to make sure people don't accidentally walk into it. So let's place this one here, and there we can see we've placed a door in. So let's again flip the instance so that it's aligned to the right size there, or the right orientation. Now, that's all of our doors modeled, but let's go and have a look in 3D and see how these interact. So if we zoom in on our 3D view here, we can now see that we have a door here. There's our manifestation across the middle of the door, okay? We obviously have some work to do in materializing this door. It looks like it's a solid panel, whereas these panels over here are glass because we can see through them. And we've got our sliding door here in the kitchen, which is great. And we've got our door into the bedroom, which is fantastic. Now we do have a little door we need to place up here into the wardrobe or into this little sort of nook space in the bedroom. So what we're going to do is we're going to explore placing doors in 3D. So while we're in the 3D view, let's come up to our build panel on the architecture tab and select door. And this time, these single swing doors are pretty big. That's a very tiny little cupboard. So let's grab our 720 leaf door. But before we place it, let's hit the edit type command. And what we're going to do now is we're going to duplicate this door and create a new type with a smaller leaf. So what we want to do is hit the duplicate button here. Let's get rid of this little number 2 at the end that Revit likes to put in. And let's change the 720 leaf to a 620 leaf. Okay, so there's our 620 leaf. 2040 high, and it's 40 mil thick. Now remember, this is only changing the name. So now that we've created our new door type, we need to come down and find the parameter related to the leaf width here. Let's make sure we match this 620 to the leaf size. And let's click OK. And now you'll see, while my mouse is hovering out here in space, it's got a little no command or a little band command on the mouse point because doors need a host, i.e. they need a wall to be hosted inside of. So now when we hover over our walls, and let's just use our shift key and right mouse button to pan around, we can see here now we get the option to place this door inside a wall. Now you can see it's not going to be very accurate trying to place this door in 3D, but let's just whack it in there and we'll see we do get an error. Insert conflicts with joined wall. So let's make sure we hit escape twice on the keyboard and let's go back to our plan view. And we can see here, let's zoom in a little bit. It looks like we've got a bit of a warning here in terms of the door and the host wall here. So what we can do is grab our wall, maybe if we nudge him up a little bit further using the arrow keys. So this wall here and this wall here, they are what create the little error we got with the door, because as soon as the door sits over that join, there's an insert error or conflict between this door and this wall. So make sure you select the door, and using the arrow keys on your keyboard, you can simply nudge this up a little bit further until that warning disappears. And we can see the warning is no longer visible up the top here. If I was to nudge him back down till we get the warning, when I select on the door, up here in my modify contextual toolbar, you'll see that the warning is relevant and shown here. So you can see the related warnings to this object, okay? If we click on this, it's just telling me, hey, the door conflicts with the joined wall, and this is the joined wall out here. So let's close that, and as we've done before, let's just nudge him up. Now we need to nudge him up so that he no longer intersects with this plasterboard here. So once we click off, our warning has disappeared. So again, placing walls in 3D, it's tricky. I would definitely recommend that you place them in a plan view because you get much better context and understanding of where those doors need to be placed and how they need to open as well.